What do we have for Virgo at the foundation of the reading? The Hermit. Virgo, that is your energy in reverse at the foundation of the reading. Very interesting. Virgo, I feel right now that you're being guided to start implementing something that you've been collecting. Wisdom is what I'm hearing. Now, there's many different ways this can show up in your life. But let's just say, for example, you have been spending some sort of time in isolation or just building up some sort of knowledge base, again, some sort of wisdom, something that you are going to implement on your path moving forward. This Hermit in reverse, along with the astrology, as well as this new moon eclipse, which we just had in Aquarius, is telling me that it's time to actually start implementing something here. It's like you have gathered all the wisdom that you have needed up until this point, and it's time to reemerge into the world and put this into action. Now, I feel that for some of you, this is going to require you tearing down some old structure in your life. It's to say that there's some sort of outdated system that you've had in place up until now that needs to come down before you can begin implementing what we are picking up here. And this is perfect eclipse kind of energy, because this is what everybody in the collective is being guided to do right now in some capacity. Yes, it's going to be different for each and every zodiac sign, but for you, Virgo, this is something you've been sitting on for a while. This is something that has to do with the foundation, the stability of your life at the root chakra there. And the fact that this Hermit card actually represents your energy and it's coming out in reverse, this is telling me that there's never been a more perfect time than now. The Hermit card upright is an energy of deep introspection. It's an energy that's very connected with source. I often refer to it as our inner GPS system. But the fact it's coming out in reverse here, this is saying, hey, you're ready to go now. Don't stay in this place any longer than you need to, because if you do, you're actually going to start working against everything that you have gathered up until this point. In a nutshell, it's like saying, don't overbake the pie. It's perfect as is right now. So it's time to step back out into the world exactly the way that you have accumulated all that you needed to accumulate up until this very moment. What do we have at the sacral position, please, Spirit? The Devil. Capricorn energy at the sacral. This is a very interesting pairing here, Virgo, because what I'm getting here is that as we established with the Hermit, it was time to take the pie out of the oven, right? Don't overbake it. But the Devil card here is showing us what happens if you do overbake it, if you decide to stay in some sort of space and you don't implement some sort of change or break down some sort of old structure, which again is what this eclipse energy is calling for. It suggests here that you may enter into a timeline where you begin to feel trapped. I just heard entrapment, right? This is a message that is telling us you're being encouraged right now to break free from some sort of self-destructive patterns that you may have been ignoring during this time of solitude with the Hermit in reverse. It's like spending all of this time in a kind of isolation to work things out and actively ignoring the exact reason why Spirit sent you into that place to begin with. Now, there's something very stubborn here that I'm picking up, Virgo. This could be, again, directly related to some sort of changes you need to make in your career or something in regards to projects that's really being highlighted here. And or it could have something to do with some sort of toxic energies in your life, people or relationships or something like this. It's like taking a time out to think, only to find yourself going directly back to all which put you in that Hermit energy to begin with. Let's get some more surrounding energy from this. What do we have at the solar plexus? Eight of Cups, yeah. I was getting ready to say, it feels like there's some sort of fear surrounding a new beginning. Right? It's like the divine is showing you, hey, this is what you can have. This is what you can accomplish. This is what you can pull off. But you're going to need to do this, that, and the other to align yourself with this path. And you say, okay, divine, that sounds great. So you go into this hermit mode and you come out saying, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it my way, and end up right back in the same space you were before you went into hermit mode. And it's almost like you're making up excuses for another energy that is not in support of you. Now, the Eight of Cups here is the energy that is speaking about withdrawing from this energy, right? We see this individual diving off this diving board. let's say, into a new beginning, right? Leaving something behind. And this Eight of Cups, this has been coming out a lot the past few weeks, I feel, in the readings. It's just very much inside the energy right now. Piscean energy too, okay? So this is really speaking about you leaving everything that is not serving your highest good moving forward behind, and stop making up excuses for it. Virgo, I feel that there's a really big opportunity here being presented to you, but it requires you actually implementing some sort of changes in your life that I feel maybe you just don't want to deal with right now, or maybe you don't think that implementing these changes will have any difference on you actually getting this new beginning, but it has everything to do with it. You know, like we mentioned, this eclipse energy is wanting a sacrifice. And this sacrifice is going to lead to some sort of reinvention in your life. You know, this is going to show up differently for all of you. But for some of you, it's going to be directly connected to your health. For others, it's some sort of career transformation that wants to take place. And for some of you, it can also speak about your personal relationships with others, how you show up in those spaces. Virgo, I'm also getting energy here for some of you where you may be giving too much. There's an energy here of being taken for granted. It's like right now, Virgo, your challenge is to move with more efficiency, right? You are the sign of the zodiac that's always very busy. It's like you're always doing something. You're always working on something. You're always putting some sort of plan together. You're always organizing something. But right now, efficiency is going to be the key to get some sort of breakthrough here, to get some sort of movement forward out of this old cycle here. There's a routine here that I feel was working for a period of time in regards to whatever this is, but now you're being called to actually move on from this and allow for this new cycle to open up. You know, Virgo, it's really interesting. I'm getting this energy here where it's like if you stay in an energy for any longer, you start to lose yourself. It's like one of these situations where you just look in the mirror one day and you're like, I don't know myself anymore. What's going on? What happened, right? This is how important this transformation is for your life right now, Virgo. What do we have at the heart position, please, Spirit? The star, Aquarius energy at the heart. Okay, now we are getting somewhere. This is starting to really open up here. The star card, I feel, is the exact reason why you're feeling so much resistance. There's something you're focused on here, Virgo, and this is preparing to come into your reality. But there's something here that is holding on for dear life. Now, again, it could be something environmental. It could certainly be a person, but it could also be a mindset, right? A behavioral pattern or just a way of doing things that needs to be put to rest, right? This star card is smack dab in the middle of the reading, right there at that heart position. And this is exactly what we want to see here because this is some sort of miracle unfolding in your life. There's something here about you being in the spotlight. Now, in my readings, when I speak about somebody being in the spotlight, it's less about being famous and more about just arriving at a space that you were always meant to be in, right? It's like saying, okay, you are now in your allocated position. This is you in the spotlight of your life. And this could speak about just having some sort of success or recognition in the sector that maybe you work in, or just life in general. You feel seen by the universe. You feel like you matter, right? And this is something that's been coming through a lot in the readings lately too. People feeling like they matter because they feel like the universe is actually responding to them. They feel seen. But it's not that the universe was never responding to you, or it's not that the universe never saw you. It's more that you weren't implementing the guidance that the universe was wanting you to implement, right? As we established. Nah, I think I'm just going to do it this way instead of that way, right? It's like the universe saying, okay, Virgo, all right, well, see how that works out for you, right? This Eight of Cups followed by the star is also completely reinforcing everything we were saying all the way back at the beginning of the reading about leaving behind some sort of unfulfilling situation and or mindset and stepping into a time where you have some sort of renewed sense of hope because, again, you feel seen. You feel like things are actually beginning to materialize in your life because you're actually doing it the way the universe wanted you to do it now, right? Virgo, I feel that a lot of you spent a season trying things your way. And now you're preparing to step into the season where you're actually going to start doing things the way that the universe is encouraging you to do them. And this is when you are going to begin to see real movement. And not only is this going to strengthen that connection that you have with the divine, but you're going to find yourself having a lot more faith moving forward. because you're going to start to see that your channel between you and source is much more open than you may have thought it was. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? Judgment. Pluto, Scorpio energy at the throat. Perfect. So the Judgment card is all about awakening. It is the rebirth. So it's like, here you are, finally doing it the universe's way, and everything begins to change. And I just heard very clearly again, all right, Virgo, you tried it your way. Now try it our way. This by no means is a message that you made a mistake. I feel that you actually had to go down that path, right? There really are no mistakes. The universe knows how we're going to move, right? But it still tries to encourage us to move more in alignment with the path that they would like us to take, right? But at the end of the day, we of course have free will. But I believe that even when we make mistakes on our path, if we show back up for the universe will say, okay, let's figure out how to get you out of that situation. Let's open up some sort of detour or other road for you. In some cases, well, in a lot of cases really, it could see us spending some extra effort and time making our way back to that true north path, but there's always a way out. There's always a way back. And that's what I'm getting here for you, Virgo. This was all meant to go down like this. And I feel that the wisdom, right, that you have extracted from this space is going to serve you moving forward. And the universe knows that. In fact, I'm hearing something here where some of you tried to do the right thing by someone or something, or it wasn't a decision made from your ego, but more a decision that you made because you were trying to quite possibly appease other people or other situations or others or other environments, or maybe you were trying to incorporate other people into spaces that they really had no business in. But now you're at this point where you actually see this. But again, everything is unfolding now as it was always supposed to. This Judgment card is your detour. This is the divine saying, okay, Virgo, let's go ahead and get you out of there, whatever that represents for you. Now, the Judgment card is also speaking about you seeing something from a different perspective, which is, I feel, highlighting the fact that you've learned some lesson here. It's like you're sitting with all of this and saying to yourself, oh, I see now. Okay, I get it. And I also feel that there's a lesson in there for you, right? Sometimes you get so busy that it's hard to see the writing on the wall. And I feel that this is one of these situations. But moving forward, this is the exact reason why you're going to start implementing the changes. See, this message here is perfect eclipse energy because it's giving you something actionable to transform from. You see it now for what it really was. You know where you're holding yourself back and where you need to make the changes in your life. And this is why you are riding the crest of this eclipse energy. You get it now, Virgo. And that's all that the universe has ever wanted for you, was for you to finally get it. What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? Four of Swords, Libra energy at the third eye. And this Four of Swords just followed everything we said perfectly, because this is you processing all this. This whole reading is about a major life assessment or some sort of significant decision that you have had to make in your life. It's like you're finally sitting with this truth and realizing that your best move right now is no move at all. It's a time to just really pause. It's a time to heal, and it's a time to truly consolidate your energy before you begin moving forward again. What do we have at the crown, please, Spirit? Perfect. Magician. Gemini, Virgo energy at the crown. Now here you are, Virgo, back out on the scene. You tried it your way. You gathered a certain amount of wisdom that's going to serve you on your path moving forward. You spent some time reconnecting with Source. You realize that there is a better way to do this, and you're going to follow the universe's direction and blueprint for you. Judgment energy. You take time out to rest and just think about everything that's taken place here, and now here you are, Magician. You're putting all of this into action, and you're back out on the scene. The Magician is also an energy where you have all the tools to make this happen. And I feel that there was no other way to actually come to this realization or to actually access these tools until you did it this way, until you did it the way that the universe always wanted you to do it. See, I feel that this energy here was a whole lot of you saying, no, you know what? I got it. I think I can do it the way that I want to do it and get the same result, only to find that after a certain period of time, the result you got wasn't really what you were looking for, okay? But then you surrendered to the divine, and now here you are, re-emerging with the power, the resources to actually create your desired outcome here. What do we have at the foundation, please, Spirit? Seven of Swords, Aquarius energy at the foundation underneath that Hermit in reverse. Now, this is really interesting here, Virgo, because this Hermit in reverse stacked with the Seven of Swords at the foundation is speaking about something that you're finally ready to address here. And I just feel that it has to do with this change, right? However that's showing up in your life. You know what this is, Virgo? This is you actually being honest with yourself because you finally don't care how that makes other people feel. Right? I feel like that says a lot. I feel like you were sacrificing your own happiness to appease others in some capacity here. It's very much a Virgo thing to do. You mean well. You don't wish harm on anybody, but sometimes that can see you hurting yourself instead. And I think this is something that you're beginning to become more aware of now. You're loving on yourself in a different way now, Virgo. You're beginning to make sure that you're taken care of first, right? And everybody always likes to say they're doing that, but when it comes down to it, I think that there was things you were depriving yourself of. And the interesting part about this, Virgo, I feel that some of these things that you may have been depriving yourself of could quite possibly have a little to do with some sort of breakthrough here. You know, I quite often pick this up in the readings where a breakthrough in one sector of your life could lead to you cleaning up something in another sector of your life, right? We call this the holistic approach. Okay, so you want to manifest that into your life? All right. Well, let's go ahead and put all of your focus on this other area of your life. Don't even worry about the manifestation right now. In fact, don't even think about it at all. Let's focus on improving this section of your life over here because this is going to have a holistic influence on bringing that manifestation through with little to no effort, right? This is what I'm getting here. And this is an understanding that you're beginning to have with yourself and the universe. It's part of your agreement. What do we have, the sacral place, Spirit? Eight of Swords, Gemini energy at the sacral. Now, for those Virgos out there that are still in this situation, this devil stacked with this Eight of Swords at the sacral position is giving us a very clear message, okay? It's time that you examine what's not working in your life right now. It doesn't have to be complicated. Is something working? Yes or no, okay? I'm hearing something here about actually putting this on a piece of paper, right? With a yes or no column. No gray areas here. Just very black and white thinking right now, okay? This is the time we're in, Virgo. There's no, maybe, and this and that, okay? You really need to be ruthless about your decision-making right now because it's going to make all the difference. Now, Virgo, the warning here, okay, for you is that by not addressing these things now, you are going to find yourself being consumed by more stagnation and delays. So ride this energetic wave, like we mentioned, right, the eclipse energy, and just get it out of the way now, okay? And for those of you Virgos who are in this transitionary period where you're already on the other side of this energy, this is just basically showing you what it is you've actually removed yourself from, right? It's like the universe saying, okay, let's just pause for a moment here. Let's turn around and look back at everything you have just overcome, because you may not fully realize how much pain and suffering you have actually saved yourself. It's like looking at a space from outside the fishbowl and going, holy crap, I didn't even see how bad it was until I removed myself from that space, right? You can't see the forest for the trees. It's like now you can see things from a higher perspective, a different vantage point. You see what the universe was always talking about. And this is when you go, oh, okay, now I get it. You know, this devil card really depicts that as well, right? Because we see this, what looks to be like a happy family, but then there's this sort of other dimension where the devil has chains around these people's necks, you know? And this is just a sort of metaphorical representation of what I'm picking up here for you, Virgo. It doesn't have to be this exact situation. It certainly could be, but it's just some sort of situation in your life that was presenting itself as supportive or seemingly like something that you needed or a space where other people needed you. It's going to show up differently for all of you. But in reality, through the fabric of time and peering into another dimension, it was actually something that was holding you back from aligning with your North Star. And this looks a whole lot like the reality we live in, right? It's like on the surface, everything looks like, it's love and light and happiness. But beneath the surface, there's some sort of bondage there. What do we have? The solar plexus, please. The Tower. Mars, Aries, Scorpio energy at the solar plexus. Right underneath that Eight of Cups. This is such a strong message here, Virgo, with this Eight of Cups and Tower stacked at the solar plexus. You may not even see this yet if you're still in this situation, but you're going to avert some sort of disaster here, okay? There's some sort of catastrophe here that is connected to this energy that erupts once you're gone. So this follows the message that I just gave perfectly about the universe stopping you and saying, hey, let's look back on what you have actually just left behind, right? I'm seeing you standing on a path, right? And there's a spirit guide sitting with you on a bench. And you look off in the distance and there's just like this explosion, right? It's like you leave something behind and then everything just completely blows up. It's like you get out of there just in time. And obviously, we're speaking metaphorically here, okay? But this is how it's showing up energetically. It's like you're averting some sort of crisis by choosing to leave this situation. What do we have at the heart position, please, Spirit? Okay, we're going to start on this side of the card first. Unbelievable. Look what it says right there. Fall of Empires. Wow. There's something about this situation. It's like the universe is trying to remove you from a space because the tower is preparing to come down, right? Fall of Empires. And this card here aligns with the Five of Swords. So this is speaking about some sort of termination or ending some sort of unhealthy relationship or just partnership or connection, something, right? And you being open to change, to something new, right? The Star card energy. It's like Spirit is, again, trying to move you out of the way here. And then we have the Five of Cups, Scorpio energy. On this side of the card, it says right there, prosperity. Okay, so now we're seeing this energy where you have moved on and there's some sort of hope returning. And this is interesting because the Star card is the energy of hope. So hope returning, right? You've got, it's like a telescope. You've refocused it on your star and you're on your way. I just heard nothing can hold you back now. I'm also hearing something here about the reason why you may have stayed in some situation. And it feels like an energy of not wanting to regret something, or maybe there's some sort of sense of loss or grief that you were trying to avoid. But I feel, and this goes back to this whole sit down with Spirit, right? Once you see something, right, from outside the fishbowl, so to speak, and you see the disaster that you have averted, that's going to be a non-factor. You won't even think about that because you're going to realize that there was no other way. You had to leave. Yeah, I just heard you get out by the skin of your teeth. Okay, what do we have at the throat position, please, Spirit? Okay, I only read these cards as uprights, even though it came out in reverse. High Priestess at the throat, Pisces energy. So here you are now, following your higher guidance, listening to Source. And it's interesting that it actually came out in reverse, right? Even though I only read these as uprights, because in reverse is a bit of what we were picking up at the beginning of the reading, right? Like the Hermit in reverse can be an energy of repeating some sort of past mistake. So you're not listening to your intuition, but now you've turned that all around. And I just heard you're back on track. Yeah, I'm hearing something here about you just didn't want to make a decision you were going to regret, but you quickly find out that had you not have made this decision that you put off making for so long, you would have been caught up in some sort of catastrophe here. Yeah, I'm also hearing that you're the only reason why this space was able to exist as long as it did without falling apart. Yeah, it's like as soon as you leave, the stars align for you and them, right? It's like your level up causes some sort of breakdown in this energy here, but allows you to see some sort of truth that you may not have been ready to accept before. What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? Wow. The sun, Leo energy at the third eye. It says right here, restoration of life. Now, the sun's the most positive card you can pull in the tarot. It's the most high vibrational card there is, okay? There's a lot of success here, Virgo. There's a lot of happiness, and there's this whole new beginning here for you on the other side of whatever this represents for you. And I'm hearing that you can't do this alone, and you're not expected to, okay? The divine has been on standby this entire time, just waiting for you, right? It's like they're standing on the sidelines, tapping their foot with their arms crossed, looking at their watch, right? Biting their nails, just waiting for you to say, okay, I need help, right? Up until this moment, you've been like, no, I got it, I'm fine. And the divine's like, well, okay, Virgo. That's the energy I'm getting here. Virgo, there is so much spiritual growth that I'm picking up inside this reading. It's like you're going through this time where you're evaluating your life, but rather than trying to figure it all out on your own, like I feel a lot of you have done up until now, you're actually leaning on your higher guidance, which results in you having some unbelievable new beginning begin to unfold in your life. We have a lot of heavy hitters on this table, Virgo. The Star card, Judgment, the Magician, High Priestess, and the Sun. Not to mention the Devil, right? The Tower. What else? Yeah. I mean, these cards here are just what's on the opposing side of things, right? But these cards here, the Star, Judgment, High Priestess, Sun, and Magician, are all in support of you. The Devil and this Tower energy are what you're leaving behind. All right, what do we have at the crown to close this out for Virgo, please, Spirit? Wow. Incredible. Wheel of Fortune, Metatron, the recording angel to close out the reading, Virgo. What an ending. It says right here, advancement and progress. Teaches, guides, and records events in the book of life. And doesn't that sound a whole lot like this whole process you've been through, right? This is a big learning process for you. Trying to do it your way, then realizing, no, I need the universe and spirit to help me. And then here we go, right? Teaches, guides, and records events in the book of life. Everything was supposed to happen exactly the way it did. Because in the end, the divine opened up another path for you anyway. They created a detour to help you get out of that situation that you thought you could handle yourself. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is also speaking about this turning point in your life and literal life cycles, right? So it speaks about this eclipse sort of energy, but it's also highlighting this awakening you're going through, Virgo, this big picture vision you have for your life. And the best way to do this is to allow the divine to assist you along the way. This very realization is what is going to change the entire foundation of your life moving forward. So with that, Virgo, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. All right, Virgo, this is what I have for all of you. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Also, if this message provided you with something to help assist you on your path, I hope that you'll consider giving it a hype. It helps get the video out to other Virgos who may need to hear this message. Also, Virgo, I have the membership side of my channel open, where I upload additional videos each month. There's already a whole bunch of other videos there that you can go check out if you're interested. You can click the join button on my profile or look for the link down in the description of this video. And Virgo, I'm also running a 15% off sale at my online store, PLUTOBEANstudio.com. It's made up of lots of different items that I have designed and created myself. You can find some of the items in the sidebar or also underneath the video. So if that's something that you'd like to check out, or maybe just go look and see what else it is that I do, you can find that link down below. I also have a few spots left open for personal readings. You can find that information in the description below this video as well. But lastly, Virgo, I would like to know how this reading resonated with you. So leave me a heart and or a comment down below, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.